Premier, in association...
Well, the man in black rules, so they played. At times, Southampton defended as though on thin ice. Reading took a first-half lead through Jamie Lambert. However, reluctantly, Southampton showed that they could play a bit too. Eyal Berkovic to Egil Ostenstadt, 1-1. But what the Saints do at one end is often cancelled out by what the Sinners do at the other. Questionable defending let Darren Caskey show excellent technique with the volley. Now, those who want a camera in the stand to adjudicate on controversial incidents might ponder what happened next. Did Francis Benali elbow Trevor Morley? The camera is inconclusive, Mr. Poll decisive. Exit Benali, re-enter Morley, and scores with the penalty. As if all that was not enough, Robbie Slater became embroiled in an exchange with an assistant referee. Yellow flag followed by red card. At the end, it looked like degenerating into the sort of behaviour that goes with debates on the monarchy, but a heavy security presence intervened. In round 4, Reading will have to use Portsmouth.
The conditions taking hold. And it is cold enough that it's not all rain that's falling here that was picked up by the radar, but over the mountains and hills of Northern Ireland, some sleet and wet snow. Not too much of it for the afternoon and the evening. It's really overnight that we could have some warnings issued, particularly for parts of Scotland and the high ground of Northern England and North Wales, with substantial snowfall forecast. And that'll be drifting perhaps in fairly strong winds. That's not enough. We've also got the potential for some icy conditions in places tomorrow, and then in comes the thaw and the rain, only slowly warming up.
They're coming.
When the aliens attack.
Their planes are faster with a greater rate of climb. Ours are more maneuverable and better armed.
Planet Earth is not alone.
They're here. Hurry.
Do you think you'd be scared if you saw one?
The information you're about to receive is classified level red. The enemy intends to attack in 71 hours.
From the producers of The X-Files comes a compelling new story, Space Above and Beyond, tonight at 11:15 on BBC Two.
On with our Friday afternoon sport now on BBC Two. Back to Helen Rollison.
Welcome back to Sport on Friday. Well, for those of you who are expecting racing from Ascot and darts this afternoon, let me explain. Ascot is off because of the weather, and the darts follows after this programme. There's no live action going on at the moment. But we've got a real treat for you now. I hope you'll enjoy it. Tim Henman against world number 3, Goran Ivanisevic. Henman started this year by reaching the final at the Qatar Open and finishing runner-up to Jim Courier, a great boost to his confidence before next week's Australian Open. He's upped his ranking to 24 in the world, and after no rest and a dreadful journey from the Middle East, has made the last 4 of the Sydney International. We join play in the first set. Ivanisevic 5-4 ahead and serving for the set. Our commentators Bill Threlfall and Barry Davis.
So 27 minutes have been played, and Tim Henman, as he has been all week, looking very relaxed indeed, but here now Ivanisevic serving for this opening set. Wayward.
Yeah, once again, it moved an awful long way in the air, and it is a bit blustery, of course. Not easy to return serve.
Never is, of course, against this fellow, and I think it's fair to say that Henman hasn't really got to grips with it in this opening set. That's better. A much better length on the approach than that.
No, it's a good shot, this, from Henman. It's an easy shot to miss, that one, where you hook it into the into that corner, even as if it's his backhand. Thought I was rather sluggish. Very important point, that one. And he just didn't move to it.
So, 2 set points for the opening set, which contained just the one break. A rather strange conclusion, a little casual by both players, to tell the truth. But the opening set
6 games to 4
to the Croatian, 6 games to 4. Oh, yes.
50 love.
Yeah, well, that was positive, and if there's one thing that Henman does now need, it's a very good, positive first game in this second set.
30 love.
And it looks like he's planning to do just that.
Yes, on the line. Down the centre line.
Henman. First game, second set.
And a very good first game for Tim Henman. Love game. And this Bill, rather typical of the way he's been playing this year, especially. Very relaxed, losing an opening set, but suddenly changing gear when the second set arrives.
Well, yeah, that's right. He's making a he's making a habit of this, isn't he? I mean, against Bulgaria, he lost the first set. Against O'Brien, he lost the first set. It's almost as though he's testing himself, isn't it? And his body language, of course, has been absolutely marvellous each time. He looks totally relaxed. I'm sure he's not really, but he's had a very, very punishing schedule as the net gets measured, of course, after the first game of the second set. And that centre tape adjusted to be absolutely plumb, up and down, vertical. Henman has been very, very impressive this week, bearing in mind, Barry, I think in particular, the schedule he's had since Doha in the desert there, where he got to that final. And then, of course, all the other players who were there faced it as well, the journey, then playing the first match. Goran is always followed around by very attractive girlfriends.
Just took a little under the half an hour for the opening set. Pretty quick opening game to the second set. Henman 1-love, ivanisevic to serve. A little unlucky, but indicative, I think, of attitude. Really went for that. It must be fairly windy up there for that little plane too. Blustery day.
Yes, it's not typical summer weather in Australia at the moment. Today it's cloudy, and this wind is not making life easy for the players. Finally played by Henman, not particularly well played by ivanisevic.
Drop shot did rather sit up, and he did nothing with it.
Yeah, suicidal drop shot, not good enough, but that was just teasingly perfect. He didn't even bother to go to the side, which would have been easier cross court. Just a delectable lob volley at that from Henman. Great service action, jumping a little. He doesn't have to jump too much. He's 6'4" anyway.
40-30.
He knew as soon as he played that it was going to go out. Approached himself. 40-30.
Cheers.
Well, I thought this just could have been long, but no hesitation by Ivanisevic playing it.
Advantage, henman.
So now the opportunity was 15-40 down. Now break point. No, he'd be in trouble for that. Crowd thought that was going to be long, maybe even as... Well, racket abuse. I was about to say that the crowd thought it was long, and Ivanisevic presumably thought it was long too. Certainly took it all out on his racket and has suffered from the umpire as a result.
It's a typical sort of scenario by Ivanisevic, this. I must say, I thought this was just wide and tough on Ivanisevic, but he really makes a meal of it, doesn't he? Automatic warning for breaking your racket. This is the logical shot to play. Gives Ivanisevic no time to react there.
Super return, he kept it very low, he guided it well.
30-18.
Got down to it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Lovely shot. Well, the thing I notice about Henman of late, particularly this year, is that his shot selection has been so good.
Game, henman.
And the fact that his serve has improved has been known long since.
Henman leads 3 games to none.
Last serve was a huge confirmation. So 3-love, having lost the opening set, and signs that the crowd are very much with Henman now.
Well, I think they are. I think he's a very popular young player. It was evident in France when he was playing there. It was evident at the Grand Slam Cup, but he had the crowd behind him. Even when he was playing Becker, they gave him tremendous support. In America, with his great run there in the US Open, they were behind him. And needless to say, in Britain, he's fast becoming a national hero. And he deserves it, because he is doing things in tennis that really we've been waiting for a long time. When you play this man in the picture, you don't only play Ivanisevic in his serve, you play the mind. And I think that's what Henman is doing very skillfully here. Notice how he concentrates on his racket at the changeovers. You can look around, you can lose your concentration. He zones in on his racket every time. Very sensible. With him, of course, the mind can absolutely go anywhere. Strange that he's got a normal haircut now, Barry. Last time I saw him, he had this sort of palm tree growing out of the top of his head. Can't believe he did his concentration much good with that.
Conditions suddenly a little brighter.